welcome back to Max Reaction. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing good. I'm doing pretty good myself. And we're going to react to a video called Duterte's daughter, the next president of the Philippines. So it's a question, could Duterte's daughter be the next president of the Philippines? We all know she's a mayor down in Davao. She replaced her father. And we know that Davao is a spreading city. Its economy is getting better and better. The crime rate is very low. So she's continuing on what her father started, you know, because Davao used to be considered, due to my research, the murder capital of the Philippines, I guess. And we know what Mr. Duterte did. He got rid of all the crime, and people mind, you know, mind the laws down there. I mean, there's harsh consequences if you don't. And the question comes up, will Duterte's daughter be the next president of the Philippines? So we're going to react to this video. We know what Mr. Duterte is doing for the Philippines now. He's doing a lot of positive things, lots and lots of positive things for the Philippines. He's strengthening the military. He's getting rid of the drug dealers, drug pushers. That's always good because drug pushing affects people in so many ways. Even people that's not doing the drugs, it's going to affect, because where there's drugs, there's crime. But anyway, he's very popular in the Philippines, very high approval rating, which speaks volumes. So we're going to check this video out. I don't know if it's going to go negative, or I don't know if it's going to go positive about this. So we're going to keep an open mind. We're going to watch this. We're going to react to it. We're going to talk about it afterwards. I know it's kind of a controversial subject, but it's a subject that needs to be talked about. And I know I'm going to get comments saying, "You're American. Why are you care? Why are you reacting to this? Why? You have no right." You know what? You know, I'm not Filipino. I can't vote, but it's in my interest. I have family that lives there. We may live there one day, and you know, it's something that needs to be talked about. So, who will be the next president after Duterte? We don't know, but let's react to this. Let's see what it has to say. Let's see if we agree, disagree. You know, we can agree and disagree in the comment section, but we don't have to be nasty about it. You know what I mean? Let's do this.
International condemnation has done little to dent his popularity. The opposition challenge has failed to loosen his firm grip on power.
And right at the beginning, it's talking about international. Well, you know what? You know, I live internationally, and you're going to hear my viewpoint. But they're talking about international, like, governments that want to, get involved. Like, hey, you can't do that. Hey, you can't do this. And Duterte's always like, no. You know what? Mind your own damn problem. Mind your own business. Every country has its problems. Why are you meddling in my business? That's what they're talking about right there.
Coupled with an encouraging economic record at home, Rodrigo Duterte has been able to validate his image as a decisive and effective leader in the eyes of ordinary Filipinos.
I hate how they worded it. They said in eyes of ordinary Filipinos. So what about the rest of the Filipinos, which they're talking about Filipinos with power? I mean, they're trying to divide ordinary Filipinos with power right there. Why can't it just be Filipinos as whole?
4% satisfaction rating, 3% disapproval rating. Where on earth can you find
nowhere
a president with a 3% dissatisfaction rating?
Only in the Philippines.
The middle of his term.
For now, President Duterte appears to be invincible. But what will happen 3 years from now?
Could it appear that he looks invincible? Nobody's invincible. Nobody on this earth. But could it appear that he's invincible because he's doing way more positive than negative for the country? You know, like, for instance, my country, I'm tired of things going negative. I want somebody that can put some positives out. There's always going to be some negatives that come with positive, and as long as you're getting this much positive and the negatives down here, that's about the best you can do, because you can't please everything and you can't solve every problem. But Mr. Duterte, he's trying, you know, and just like any country, there's always a group of people that's going to oppose you.
Will his words and actions come back to haunt him once he leaves office?
I don't think so. Could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Past presidents have faced the threat of criminal investigations for perceived misdeeds after leaving office. In July, Amnesty International accused Duterte of carrying out a large-scale murdering enterprise. The human rights group is also urging the United Nations to investigate the Philippine president for crimes against humanity.
And, you know, I see that. I've seen stories and news stories. It's hard to watch the news. It really is, because, you know, are they pushing something that they want you to believe in or not? So I question all news. I question all news here where I live. But, you know, I get all these comments when I make videos saying it's safer, it's safer, safer. I see comments, you know, other places, it's safer, it's safer, safer. It's a lot safer than what it used to be. So, I mean, is it true or not? Like, is it safe for normal people and not so safe for people that's involved in drugs? Like, do we need to look at it that way? I think so. If you are involved in criminal activity, you know, whether it be drugs, stealing, whatever it may be, it's not going to be safe for you anywhere in this world. Anywhere in this world. You know, in Russia, if you're pushing drugs, is it safe? Probably not. If you're in Germany, if you're pushing drugs, probably not. If you're in the United States, if you're pushing drugs, is it safe for you? Probably not. So, I mean, it's all the way you look at it.
Maybe the UN might try to chase him, that depending on who's the next president.
So if you look at the last 3 presidents who have left office in the Philippines, under their successor, they have faced criminal charges, starting with Joseph Estrada and now Benigno Aquino. So it really depends on who takes over or who succeeds him, if it is.
And I feel that because in the state I live in, in the United States, we had like 2 or 3 governors in a row go to prison because they're so crooked. And this last governor didn't go to prison. So I don't think you can look at the past and say, man, this guy, this woman, this guy went to prison, so the streak's got to go. So the next one up's Duterte. No, I don't think that's the way it works. It's what you do. It's what your deeds do. You know, it's how you are. It's you can't say this guy's going to prison, so that guy's going to prison. You just can't do it.
Is his daughter, who is a leading candidate, then he may very well be protected.
Some analysts think the midterm elections in May this year not only helped Duterte solidify his position, but also gave him the opportunity to find a suitable successor who will protect his interests and cushion him against...
That's absolutely right. You know, you want some, you know, when your term's up, you want somebody to continue on what you started. And I made Marcos videos. This is an example. I made Marcos videos. I've reacted to Marcos some, not a lot, some. And a lot of people say the next people in power destroyed everything Marcos was trying to do. All the projects like the power plant and the military strength, this and that. So yeah, you want the next person to carry on what you're trying for. And if you're trying to make your country positive, you want to do positive things for your country, you want to strengthen the economy, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to keep the drugs out, yeah, you want and you need somebody to continue on. If you don't, then it's all for naught. The last 6 years is like, you know, if we go back to exactly what we were doing, then it was just a waste of time. A waste of time. So yeah, of course, you want somebody in line with your views. And what better person than his daughter, right? I mean, it's just common sense if you look at it.
The fate of his predecessors.
The president wants to avoid accountability for what he did while in office.
Well, the guy just said avoid accountability. You don't really want to avoid it if you're not doing anything wrong, right? So if you're not doing anything wrong, you're doing positive things, you're not breaking laws and stuff like this, there is no avoid accountability, you know? You shouldn't be afraid of that because you don't need to be.
And the only way we can guarantee avoidance of that accountability is by having a friend or a member of the family to succeed him.
I wouldn't be surprised that Duterte's daughter, Mayor Inday Sara, might want to try her hat 3 years from now. Why not? She's popular.
Sara Duterte, known as Inday Sara to the Philippine public,
Inday Sara
has been the mayor of Davao City since 2010, after her father's tenure reached its term limit.
she appears to be projecting the same political image as the father, President Duterte.
Oh, of course she is. That's her father, you know. Her father raised her. Her father groomed her up to be the person that she is. So more than likely, I have to say that they probably have the same views. And she's continued the legacy down in Davao of, hey, it's a safe city. Come to Davao. I mean, don't you want to be safe? I want to be safe.
Decisive, who knows, that might still resonate with the electorate come 2022.
Davao's transformation from the murder capital of the Philippines to the second fastest growing economic region is closely tied to the leadership of the Duterte
volumes.
family, including Inday Sara.
Volumes.
But at the national level, her political persona is very tied to that of her father. It'll be interesting if voters come 2022 see that as enough reason to vote for her compared to other politicians like Cynthia Villar, who by herself has a national political profile.
Political families have established strongholds of support across 8 major regions of the Philippines. And 5 of these dynasties have unified under Sara's coalition of political parties, Hukbong ng Pagbabago. And as she consolidates the support of these influential families, the clamor for her to succeed her father in Malacanang grows.
Right.
Almost all the major political families, from the Marcoses to the Villars, became part of that broader coalition. No?
Given that we have very weak political parties and we have
Very
a very
interesting.
personalistic politics in the Philippines, it's natural that the children of the politicians may decide to run. As long as the president will maintain his popularity until the end of his term, it's possible that Mayor Sara will be one of the possible candidates for 2022.
Could be, I don't know.
I think he will be the next president of the Philippines.
Wow, that's a strong statement right there.
There is no person in the political horizon that can match her popularity and her qualities. I think she has the same qualities with his president father.
However, the so-called Duterte magic relies on the will of the people.
Well,
And while
absolutely.
there may be overwhelming support behind Mr. Duterte right now, it's not quite certain where the political pendulum might swing once he leaves office.
Well, I think, you know, if he does what he said by getting rid of drugs, that's a big plus. If the economy starts growing, that's a big plus. If the military gets stronger, that's a big plus. I mean, you can only add so many pluses up on one side before the scale takes it down, and the other side goes up, and like, hey, you know, check my daughter out. Maybe you want to elect her as president. She's going to carry on what I've started, you know, and maybe, you know, a lot of people, forgive me if I say his name wrong, Bongbong, is Bongbong Marcos? Maybe he's after, you know, Duterte's daughter. I don't know. This is just me looking at the video, telling you how I feel about it. Of course, I have no say-so one shape or another. I'll get to watch the election, see it happen, and like I said, the reason I make a video about this, the reason I talk about it, the reason I think about it, the reason I care, like I said, I have family in the Philippines, so if something affects my family, you should care, right? So I do. Anyway, those are my thoughts, those are my feelings. I know there's going to be a lot of positive comments in this. I know there's going to be negative comments, but we're all human, so just keep them clean. We can discuss this like grown-ups, can't we? But anyway, those are my feelings, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.